Greetings, members, one and all of the Salivation Nation. Despite Bitcoin's euphoria, gold sales are increasing. Let's explore. Yes, this comes to us through Kitco News from Reuters, as shared with me by Megan Kelly Simon. Very nice of her to send this along to me. This is an article about how Perth Mint's November gold sales have risen to a 7-month high. And as you know, there has been a lot of talk, and I've even posted a video about how Bitcoin is really, especially in the paper markets, having an effect, at least in that realm, on sales. But in terms of the physical gold, well, their sales are increasing despite what's going on in the Bitcoin market. But it makes me wonder when you think about the type of people who buy paper gold as opposed to physical gold. Now, there obviously is some crossover. There are folks that accumulate both. And I think that's fairly wise to do. But I believe it is important to have some in the physical form as that ultimate hedge against what is unlikely to happen, even with everything that's going on in the world today, a total collapse. But that is really what is there to protect us from in that regard, holding the physical metal. And I think many buyers are seeing that and understand that based off of this particular article here. Sales of Perth Mint's gold products in November more than doubled from the previous month as demand surged from its international customers, especially Germany, while silver sales eased, the refiner said in a blog post on Wednesday. Sales of gold coins and minted bars jumped to 84,158 ounces last month. That's the highest since April, up 119% on month and 55% from a year earlier. That is pretty astounding, especially considering what was going on. There was a lot of buzz about gold. Of course, it jumped up in the summer to its all-time high for the nominal price. The jump in sales reflects investor sentiment in the long-term fundamentals of gold as a safe haven, said IG Markets analyst Kyle Rhoda. And that's just it. It is. I liken it to an insurance policy. We hold gold and at various different price points based off of the premiums we buy because of the health of the economy or uncertainty. And make no mistake, uncertainty is not necessarily a measure of necessarily the health of the economy. It's sentiment. It's not knowing what's going to happen. And I'll give you a good example of this. There was some geopolitical tensions where Iran had launched an attack on a Saudi oil field last year. And that affected gold and silver prices very quickly, but that all dissipated. That tension essentially dissipated fairly quickly, and the metals returned to some normalcy. Of course, that didn't last long, and once the pandemic made its way, that's all bets were off the table in that regard. We're still in an area of uncertainty with the vaccines in that regard too, and that's why we hold gold. Investors took the opportunity of buying the metal at a lower price to hedge against lower interest rates and a possibility of higher inflation. Countries around the globe have kept interest rates low and have injected massive stimulus into the economy to cushion against the effects of a worldwide coronavirus pandemic, leading to a more than 19% rise in benchmark gold prices. That's astounding. Benchmark gold prices, however, fell 5.4% in November, which is their biggest drop in 4 years. I've covered that on this channel as well, as vaccine optimism dimmed the metal's appeal. And that provides a buying opportunity. I think this goes to show that I think many buyers, not only are they not really affected by what Bitcoin does, but I think even that is to give some reasoning why people are putting some money into Bitcoin or all decentralized assets as well. And this is because they see trouble ahead and more stimulus coming and things that essentially mean that gold is probably poised to go higher. I'm one of those that is somewhat bullish on gold, somewhat. I don't know that I would say that gold's going to be $3,000 in a year, but I believe we could see over $2,000 again visited sooner rather than later. The article continues here that the launch of the Kangaroo Gold Series coincided perfectly with the onset of lower gold prices. In the back half of November, Neil Vance, general manager at Minted Products, said in a post. Sales of silver coins, meanwhile, slipped 8.9% to their lowest since May at 1,119,269 ounces, but were up 8.9% compared with a year ago period. So though those sales of silver coins have slipped, they are up overall, and that's encouraging, but silver hasn't shown quite as brightly as gold has through this pandemic. In fact, that gold to silver ratio is still quite high, well above 75 at this point, silver ounces for 1 ounce of gold. The company said sales of silver products fell due to a drop in production owed to unavoidable machinery repair and maintenance activity. So that is a reason why, but I also believe there's other reasons I just mentioned before, because it's just not as appealing, it seems like, for some people. And that's the odd thing about it. People tend to buy on the way up and sell on the way down. And really the inverse should be true, but a sentiment of people, to me, that's sort of the weak minds of the investor out there, or the hedger. When you panic and sell when it's dropping, or you panic and buy when it's going up. The Perth Mint, owned by the government of Western Australia, refines more than 90% of the newly mined gold in Australia, one of the world's top gold producers. You may have seen a coin that I had shown, a gold coin, the one and only coin that has been shown on the coin itself where the gold came from, the Super Pit gold mine, and largest in the world. It's a fascinating gold coin. I'll link to it at the end screen of this video. But that comes out of the Perth Mint, and it's fascinating to actually own a coin that is commemorating the very mine from which it came. And so fascinating indeed, and interesting. And this should encourage those of you like me who believe in gold. In fact, I have shifted my strategy largely over to gold in terms of the amount spent. I still buy silver as well, but since 2017, I have focused pretty solidly on gold, trying to meet a goal, which I've not published yet what that goal is. Once I get there, I hope to let you know what that is. A lot of it depends on the price of gold and my income in that time period, but no matter what your goal is, to have any amount of gold, I think, is wise, and it's better than not having any, even if you pay a ridiculous premium with some of the smaller sizes. I do believe it's valuable to hold and to have as that ultimate hedge against economic instability. And if you know me from the history of this channel, you know that I've paid ridiculous premiums in the past. This is not a channel that typically finds these great deals all the time because of how particular I am with certain coins and products that are out there. But nonetheless, the fundamentals are strong, and it's exciting to see the excitement in gold because sales have risen so much. And this is just the Perth Mint, which is one of the largest producers out there, and their products are of the utmost quality, but they are also very, very well known and respected around the world with their products, for sure. And so there you have it. Fascinating again. Thank you again, Megan, for sharing this with me. And I want to take this time for those of you, the algorithm isn't quite catching my vids here, so I certainly would appreciate if you would hit the bell. The notification bell doesn't always work, but the more people that do that, the more likely the chance that you will get the notification. And subscribe if you haven't already. But hitting that like button is a big factor, I think, in helping get these videos out. And I've looked at my videos and noticed that probably maybe 10% of the people actually thumb the video up or down, if that. So regardless of how you feel, I mean, if you don't mind, that would be a big help and very much appreciated out there. And I want to extend a multitude of gratitude to you all for taking the time to watch. And again, I encourage you to please rate, share this video. Yes, share it, comment, and subscribe.